Okay, so sulfur, right? Not exactly the first thing you think of when you think fascinating, is it? I mean, it's kind of got that rotten egg thing going on.
Well, sure, the smell, yeah, but that's just scratching the surface. You dig a little deeper and
You find out it's in, like, everything.
pretty much ancient rituals, high-tech batteries, even you and me, actually.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking sulfur today. For anyone who's, new here or just needs a refresher, what all did we look at for this deep dive?
We've got a bit of everything, honestly. History, science, industry perspectives.
Right, like encyclopedia stuff?
Yeah, we've got Wikipedia in the mix.
Mhm.
And then there's that report from the Georgia Gulf Sulfur Corporation.
Oh, and those articles, Sulfur History? That was a good one.
Historical, scientific, and modern applications of sulfur. That one's a mouthful.
And, of course, a good old-fashioned timeline. Always love a good timeline.
Can't go wrong with a timeline. But yeah, I think what really struck me looking at all this is how closely sulfur's story is tied to our own.
Totally. Like, it's almost like this unsung hero of civilization. And to think it all started with, like, the ancients, right?
Oh, yeah. Pagan rituals, Egyptian eye ointments.
Wait, they used it for eye ointment?
Apparently, yeah. And the Romans, they were using it for fumigation.
Wild. So versatile, even back then.
Speaking of versatile, what about gunpowder? Now, that's an invention that changed the game.
Oh, man, gunpowder.
Mhm.
Wars, empires, global trade routes, all thanks to sulfur.
Well, it was a key ingredient, that's for sure. And it's a good example of how this seemingly simple element had huge historical ripple effects. Remember the 1840 sulfur crisis?
Vaguely. Refresh my memory.
So for centuries, volcanic deposits, those are the main source of sulfur. But with demand skyrocketing, thanks to things like gunpowder, those sources couldn't keep up, led to this whole geopolitical scramble for sulfur mines.
Huh. Interesting. Almost a preview of today's resource conflicts in a way.
Exactly. And you know what that crisis led to? A major turning point. New sources, innovative extraction methods.
The fresh process.
Bingo. Extracting sulfur from those massive salt domes, especially here in the U.S., it was a game changer.
And that wasn't just about getting more sulfur, was it? It was driven by this growing demand, the discovery of sulfuric acid, all those
Oil.
industrial uses popping up.
Precisely. Suddenly, sulfur wasn't just for, gunpowder and ancient remedies. It was driving the Industrial Revolution.
Okay, hold on, back up a sec. Sulfuric acid, what was it actually used for again?
One of the biggies was the LeBlanc process. Use sulfuric acid to make soda ash.
Soda ash, like baking soda.
Not quite the same, but similar idea. Back then, soda ash was essential. Glass making, soap production, you name it.
Wow. So we've gone from ancient rituals to industrial revolutions, all thanks to sulfur. This element really gets around.
It does, and you know what's even more fascinating? It's not just about what sulfur does, it's about sulfur itself. Chemically speaking, it's pretty unique.
Okay, hit me with some sulfur science. What makes it so special?
Well, sulfur has this cool ability to bond to, itself. Forms these long chains, rings, all sorts of interesting structures.
So it's like it's got multiple personalities.
Oh, wait, yeah. We call those different forms allotropes.
Allotropes, right.
And sulfur has more allotropes than any other element on the periodic table.
And these allotropes, they're not just a chemical curiosity, are they? They actually, do stuff.
Oh, absolutely. This unique ability is what makes sulfur so versatile. Matches, medicine.
I read something about lithium-sulfur batteries, right? Those are supposed to be, the next big thing.
Exactly. Electric vehicles, renewable energy storage. They could be huge.
And it all comes back to sulfur. Wild. But wait, how come lithium-sulfur? What's the connection there?
Well, those batteries, they're all about energy density, how much juice you can pack in. And lithium sulfur, they have the potential to blow lithium ion out of the water.
So longer lasting, faster charging.
Potentially, yeah. It's still early stages, but the research is promising.
Okay, so from ancient rituals to the future of energy, all thanks to sulfur. Pretty impressive for something that's, most famous for smelling bad.
It is pretty remarkable. And, there's another way we can trace sulfur's journey, too. Isotopes.
Isotopes, right? Those are important. Remind me what those are again.
Think of isotopes like fingerprints.
Perfect.
Elements. They're basically the same element, but with slightly different weights.
Okay, because of the neutrons, right?
Exactly. Different number of neutrons. And just like your fingerprint is unique, different sources of sulfur, like volcanoes or ancient seabeds, they have their own isotopic signature.
So you can trace sulfur back to its source. That's incredible. It's like elemental detective work.
Exactly. It unlocks secrets hidden in rocks, sediments, Even ancient artifacts, we can track sulfur's movements, understand how our planet formed. It's fascinating stuff.
Wow. Okay, so we've gone from gunpowder to, like, planetary formation, all because of sulfur.
It's a pretty amazing element when you think about it. And speaking of amazing, did you know sulfur isn't just found in, like, rocks and batteries? It's also a vital part of life itself.
Wait, really? So, like, we need sulfur to live?
We do. Without it, we wouldn't exist.
Okay, now I have to hear more about this. How is sulfur, like, essential for life?
Well, it all boils down to two essential amino acids, cysteine and methionine.
Amino acids. Okay, that rings a bell.
Those are like the building blocks of proteins, right?
You got it. And proteins, they're the workhorses of our bodies.
Mhm.
Building tissues, transporting nutrients, fighting infections, you name it, proteins are involved.
Right, and you're saying these cysteine and, what was it? Methionine.
The thionine, yeah.
Okay.
Those two amino acids, they contain sulfur. It's literally a part of us. Wow, I never knew that. So without sulfur, our bodies couldn't even make the proteins we need to function.
Exactly. We literally wouldn't exist. And it's not just about being present. Sulfur plays a crucial role in how proteins work, too. Specifically, their shape.
Their shape. Okay,
Yep.
how does that work?
So those sulfur-containing amino acids, cysteine and methionine, they can form these special bonds, disulfide bonds we call them. And these bonds, they act like tiny bridges holding different parts of the protein together.
So it's like the scaffolding almost, keeping everything in place.
Perfect analogy. Without those sulfur bridges, many proteins would just fall apart. Our bodies wouldn't function.
Wow, it's incredible when you really start to see all the connections, you know. Sulfur is like the unsung hero holding us all together.
It really is. And it's not just about humans either. Plants, animals, even those tiny bacteria we can't see, sulfur is essential for all life on Earth.
It's everywhere. We've got sulfur in the air, in the ground, even inside us.
Mhm.
Speaking of which, how does all this sulfur even get around? Is it just like hanging out in volcanoes and oil fields?
Well, not exactly. It's more like a constant cycle, moving between the air, water, soil, living things. It's a complex process with a lot of players involved, including some very important bacteria.
Bacteria. Okay, now I'm really interested. What kind of bacteria are we talking about here? What's their role in all this?
Well, there's this group called sulfate-reducing bacteria, and these guys are amazing because they actually breathe sulfate instead of oxygen.
Wait, hold on. They breathe sulfate. What does that even mean?
They're like the ultimate survivors, living in these crazy environments, deep-sea vents, oxygen-depleted sediments, places most organisms wouldn't last a second. But these guys, they thrive there.
So they've, like, evolved to use sulfur in a way that most life can't.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really interesting. They play a key role in the sulfur cycle because they take sulfate, which is a form of sulfur found in lots of minerals, and they convert it into sulfide,
Sulfide, and that is...
another form of sulfur,
Yeah.
and a vital nutrient for lots of organisms, especially plants.
So these bacteria are like what? Little ecosystem engineers. They're transforming sulfur and making it useful for plants, which then feed the rest of us.
Exactly. It's a perfect example of how even the smallest organisms play a huge role in keeping our planet's ecosystems balanced.
It really is amazing how everything's connected, even at like the microscopic level. You know, makes you realize there's so much going on that we never even think about. But, okay, we've talked about the past, a bit about the future. What about sulfur right now? Where does it fit into our world today? Besides those batteries, I mean.
Well, it's a bit of a mixed bag, honestly. Super important for certain industries, but also...
Also comes with some baggage.
Yeah, something like that. On the one hand, you've got fertilizers, huge industry, and sulfur is a key ingredient.
Right. And with the whole growing population thing, we need to produce more food than ever. Didn't we talk about how sulfur deficiency in soil is becoming a problem?
Exactly. We've been depleting the soil, and now we need to replenish it, which means more sulfur. But
There's a downside.
there's always a downside, right? In this case, it's acid rain.
Right, right. Sulfur is a big contributor to that, isn't it?
One of the biggest.
It's weird. We're trying to get rid of sulfur in fuels because pollution, but then we're adding it to fertilizers.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we supposed to do with this stuff?
It's a balancing act for sure. Highlights the importance of thinking about the whole system, you know? The entire sulfur cycle. What
Yeah.
we do in one area affects everything else.
Right, right. So, okay, we've got sulfur as this essential nutrient, but also a potential pollutant. And it's showing up in everything from ancient rituals to cutting-edge technology.
Yeah.
It's been shaping our world for a long time, that's for sure. So what's next? What's the future hold for sulfur, you think?
If I had a crystal ball, right, But seriously, it's hard to say for sure. Those lithium-sulfur batteries, though, they have huge potential. I'm really curious to see how that plays out.
Me too. It'd be amazing if something we once associated with, like smelly volcanoes, could actually help us create a more sustainable future.
Right. It's amazing to think about, but honestly, I think there's still so much we don't know about sulfur. Who knows what else we might discover?
That's the most exciting part. We've been using this element for, what, thousands of years?
Yeah.
And it still manages to surprise us. Who knows what other secrets it's hiding?
Exactly, and that's what makes science so fascinating, isn't it? Always more to learn. Even something as quote-unquote ordinary as sulfur can still teach us a thing or two.
Well said. Well, that's about all the time we have for today's deep dive into the world of sulfur. Hopefully you learned something new, maybe had your mind blown a little bit. What are your takeaways? What stood out to you? Let us know. And who knows, maybe we'll do a follow-up episode and dive even deeper. Until then, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and most importantly, keep your curiosity alive.